What up, what up, what up? It's True. Today I got some special stuff for you guys. I got some World War Z character bios slash backstory, whatever you want to call them. If you want to see anything with any of these characters, follow me. Let's roll out. Alright, what up, what up, what up? Here we go. We're at the characters section here. There is 16 characters. Each character is unlocked by playing as that character through one mission. A little tip here that I got stumbled on a couple times. You do have to start the mission from the beginning and finish the whole mission for it to unlock. I couldn't tell you how many times I joined a mission with somebody, fought that half that mission, and then came back and it wasn't unlocked. This is my first time watching these. I have not watched them as I unlocked them. I just went ahead and unlocked them just real quick just to see. Again, play each mission with each character, finish the mission with that character, and it should unlock. I just went through on easy and just went through them all. I'll do the hard stuff later on in later videos. Alright, let's roll out. So we got, first off, we got Judd Whittaker. As a New York Times top photojournalist, Judd was covering the refugee movement towards Jerusalem when a huge horde got over a city wall. Judd barely escaped on an army helicopter. He's since traded his camera for a rifle. Alright, let's check this guy out.
There were moments when men's cruelty could not be explained. It had to be seen. The perfect shot pierced our numbness, sent up a flare to save the next generation. It said, "This is where we've been. Don't follow." Then there was no one left to heed the warning. The only one left to save is yourself.
Alright, so that's Judd Whittaker. Let's move on here. Next we got up Dina Mizrahi. I know I did not say that right, but oh well. A little bit about her. Dina's father was an architect, and it was her intention to join the family business. She was serving her time in the Israeli Defense Force when the Great Panic began. The apocalypse needed fighters more than it needed architects. Alright, let's see what she's got.
My earliest memory is war. It was a conflict so complex that it could never be resolved. But this war isn't complicated. Death is still heartbreak. But a kill is a kill.
You're right about that. Alright, that's Dina. I'm not going to try to pronounce her last name because I will mess it up. Let's move on. Alright, we got Ethan Wolfe. With 16 years in the British SAS, Ethan retired with the Gallantry Cross and Military Cross. He was hired by Mossad to advise on special ops and was on a training base in Negev when the infected stormed Jerusalem. Let's check this guy out.
Don't play in the dirt, Ethan. Stop
fighting, Ethan. Be polite, Ethan. We can suppress the animal instincts all we want, bury them under layers of polish. But they exist for a reason. When we lived in a genteel fairy tale world, somebody did the dirty work out of sight. But when the fairy tale turned nightmare, those instincts were the only thing that kept us alive.
Oh, that was fun. Alright, that's Ethan Wolfe. Alright, let's move on. Daniel A. I'm not going to try to pronounce that. These guys, some of these guys got some, well, it's not that they have hard names, it's just that I'm ignorant, so. Alright, let's do Daniel's. Alright, I'll read this. A child of 1977's Beta Israel movement, Daniel had an Ethiopian father and an Israeli mother. After IDF service, he started a family. When the virus took his wife and son, Daniel dedicated his life to fighting for humanity.
Where there is life, there is light. The glow of hope. At times, it burns brightly, but dwindles and fades. But once it is lit, we must never let it die.
Alright, that's Daniel. Let's move on here to Angel Flores. Angel was a high-ranking member of the Latin Kings gang and transit tunnel maintenance worker. When the outbreak hit, he was the only of his crew who chose to fight over flight, an insect that has kept him alive ever since. I'm sorry, an insect. Yeah, an insect. An instinct that kept him alive ever since. Alright, let's check out Angel Flores' backstory.
I was born into this life. I suffered for it. And reaped the rewards. I could tell you that I didn't want it. That I tried to get out. But I got no reason to lie anymore. That life is the only reason I'm still here.
Alright, Angel. Let's move on. Alright, I'm probably going to chop this dude's name. Tashawn Burnell. Tashawn was a New York City firefighter. He survived the September 11 attacks, but was plagued with survivor guilt and post-traumatic stress disorder. For Tashawn, the Great Panic felt more like a change of scenery than a cataclysm. Alright, let's check out Tashawn's backstory.
We're so small, really. Insignificant. In the grand scheme, one life means so little. You dedicate yourself to a principle. But in the end, it's out of your control. In this world, principles get you killed. You lend a hand, it gets torn off. You hesitate, you die. So you want to save someone? Save yourself.
True talk. Alright, that's Deshaun. Alright, let's move on. We got Bunko Titsam. Man, I'm not even going to try, man. As a skilled hacker in the weeks before the outbreak, Bunko infiltrated the Department of Defense's computer network and detected signs of the coming disaster before it was made public. This advantage gave her time to prepare. Alright, Bunko.
To all my classmates who alienated me because I was different. To anyone who never gave me a chance. To the people who ignored me while I hid behind zeros and ones. Thank you. Without you, I would never have made it this far. I would have been weak and dependent. I would have ended up just like you.
Not me, but obviously. Alright, that's Bunko T. Let's move on here. Arnetta Larkin. I remember playing her. I like her character. A little bit about Arnetta worked as a power distribution engineer in New York City when the outbreak hit. She was one of the first to know. She was separated from her husband and baby in a panic, but still holds hope that they're alive somewhere. Alright, Arnetta.
There's never a moment when you forget. It's there when you fall asleep and when you wake up. You keep going over the things you should have done. I should have stayed home that day. I should have held on. The agony is always there. But I've learned to live with it. Because the only thing stronger than regret is hope.
Nice, Arnetta. Alright, let's move on. I don't even want to try to pronounce some of these. Dude, almost every single name has been hard. Again, it's probably not the names, it's probably just me. But, you see your name, you can read it for yourself. As a child, I'm gonna... Oksana dreamed of becoming a doctor and healing the sick. The outbreak put an end to that. She met Father Popov in an abandoned city and saw hope in his mission. She no longer seeks a cure, only to release.
I was never afraid of Cachet the Deathless. I laughed at the fairy tale of this undead phantom. A woman of science would never fear such silliness. But what do we know? Science cannot explain what I've seen. And in the face of such horror, there is no logic. Only faith.
Alright, that's OO. Alright, let's move on. We got Ivan D here. Nicknamed the Tiger, Ivan was respected defense lawyer in Kiev before the war. He wore custom suits and drove a German sports car. During the Great Panic, he realized his money was useless and focused his ambition on survival.
I was just a boy when the Soviet Union collapsed. The nation was divided in two. Those with power and those without. At 8 years old, I learned the price of weakness. And I vowed never to pay that price again. I became the strong man. I gathered wealth, influence, and power. But nature is indifferent to the hierarchy of men. Once more, she burned my world to ashes, leaving only bitterness and the rage I would need to survive.
Alright, there's Ivan. Alright, here we go. Let's move on. We got Timur. Why? While studying political science, Timur lost his faith in the system and dropped out. He joined an anarchist movement and was soon labeled an agitator. Timur, I'm probably not saying that name right, but I don't. It's cool, man. Was well reserved. Was well revered. Is that revered?
People don't believe something can happen until it does. They live in cheerful ignorance of the coming storm. I could see nothing else. When it finally arrived, I felt relief. At least now the danger had taken shape. Now, I had a target. And I didn't have to fight alone.
Alright, there's Timur. Dude, it really makes me upset that I juggled through that bio there, but that's okay. You guys can read it. Let's move on. Sergei Popov. I've heard this guy before in somebody else's bio. As an enforcer in the Russian underworld, Sergei Popov was legendary for his strength as for his wanton brutality. After a movement of crippling guilt and sudden epiphany, Sergei reversed course to the path of righteousness. His only purpose now is to protect the living and to free the dead. Alright.
I will not be welcome in the kingdom of heaven. That fate was never in the cards for a man like me. The Lord had other plans. I have made my peace with God. He is with me in this life. And that is enough.
Alright, so that's Sergei. Let's move on to Show S. I'm not even going to try. Show always knew his life would be dedicated to saving others. At 19, he enlisted in the Coast Guard. When the Great East Japan earthquake struck, he joined the disaster rescue team and saved survivors. But when the outbreak hit, Shu knew It was different. The only survivors would be those who left. Alright.
I was 11 years old the first time I felt the ground shake. My instinct was to leave. But my grandparents wouldn't hear of it. This is our home, they told me. We don't leave. I came to live by that code. Earthquakes, tsunamis, typhoons, they're all part of life here. We accept them. We don't leave. When the evacuation was announced, I rejected it. This wasn't our way. Then I saw them. And I understood. This wasn't another disaster. This was a war.
Alright, there's Shu. Alright, let's move on here. Kimiko Nomura. Alright, here's a little bit about her. Ever since she held a starter pistol as a child, Kimiko was hooked. She parlayed talent as a skier into a career as an Olympic biathlete just so she could learn to shoot. When the zombie plague turned Japan into a panicked evacuation zone, Kimiko's talent became a highly valued survival skill.
Nobody expected a 9-year-old girl from Tokyo to be fascinated by guns. Nobody imagined a 22-year-old university senior would drop out and train for the biathlon. Nobody believed that the daughter of a salaryman could win Olympic gold. And nobody predicted that a necrotic plague would decimate our planet's population. But life is all about the unforeseen. And nobody saw me coming either.
Alright, there's Kimiko. Alright, next. Oh my gosh, here we go again. Tatsao Matsumoto. Tatsao's intensity as a cop was reflected in his advancement, riot unit, special assault, and special investigations. All by 34, but success came at a cost by 43. He left his wife and sunk into a bottle. When Japan evacuated, he volunteered his life as a gun. Volunteered his life and gun. Anything to distract him from his own demons. Alright, let's check. Tatsao Matsumoto.
I always wanted to be a cop. Thought I could do some good. But the scum on the street kept destroying lives. While I was wrapped up in red tape. Shackled by senseless laws. The virus stripped all that away. Left us to fend for ourselves. And finally, the chains were off.
Alright, that's Tatsao Matsumoto. Alright, last one here. We got Hiroji Akuda. At 20, Hiroji, I'm probably saying that wrong, was the youngest Yakuza in Tokyo. At 25, when his father sent him to America to avoid shaming his family, he became the youngest Yakuza in LA. The horror of the outbreak sparked a dormant sense of loyalty in When everyone else was leaving, he went home to help. All right.
Growing up in Tokyo, you either became a salaryman or you were a waste. If you asked around, it's safe to say I was the latter. They said I lacked self-control, that I shamed my family. So my father sent me off to relatives in the States. Turns out, Americans care a lot more about earnings than honor. Which worked out fine. Until the Zeke showed up. The Japanese decided to evacuate. They didn't have the firepower to fight. But I had special skills. So when everyone else was leaving, I went home.
All right, and that's it. All right, there you go, all 16 characters. Thanks for sticking with me, guys. I know this is a long approaching video, but I think this will be helpful to people unlocking these characters. Play through from the beginning to the end of the game and you'll unlock it. Every character, every place you go. I hope this video was helpful for you guys. I'm going to leave timestamps in the description for each character, so if you're looking for a specific character, you can just skip to that character and see his bio or her bio or whatever have you. If you haven't sub, I really appreciate all the support lately. You guys are keeping me going. I'm also streaming on Facebook now. I'll leave a link in the description. Follow me over there, like my page. That's going great. Until next time, I appreciate it. I'm off. See ya.